In Saw, two men wake up chained inside a dirty, broken bathroom. In the middle of the room, there is what looks like a dead body holding a gun and a tape recorder. The two men, Dr. Lawrence Gordon and Adam, are trapped on opposite sides and must follow clues to escape before Gordon's family is killed. The rules of the game are cruel but clear. Gordon must kill Adam by 6 p.m., or his wife and daughter will die. The men find hacksaws, but they are not strong enough to cut the metal chains. They are only strong enough to cut through bone. Gordon then understands that the real idea is for him to cut off his own foot to get free, which he eventually does in the movie's most shocking moment. After Gordon crawls away to find help, Adam learns the truth. The dead body on the floor is actually John Kramer, also known as the Jigsaw Killer. He has been alive and listening to them the whole time. Jigsaw gets up, tells Adam that Gordon's family is safe, and then locks Adam in the bathroom to die because, in Jigsaw's twisted belief, Adam does not value his life enough. But Jigsaw's horrible games almost seem reasonable compared to the next psychological horror story, Psycho. In The Ring, journalist Rachel Keller begins looking into the strange deaths of four teenagers who died right after watching a strange videotape at a cabin. The tape shows creepy and confusing images, like a ring of light, dead horses, a girl brushing her hair, and a well. After someone watches the tape, they get a phone call that says they have only 7 days left to live. Rachel watches the tape herself to learn the truth, and right away she starts experiencing scary, supernatural things. Her ex-husband, Noah, also watches the tape, and the two of them work together to find answers. Their investigation leads them to Moesco Island and a girl named Samara Morgan. The twist is that Samara was a psychic child, meaning she had powerful abilities that her adoptive parents could not handle. Her mother, Anna, became overwhelmed and pushed Samara into a well, leaving her trapped there to die over 7 long days. Because of her anger and psychic powers, Samara created the cursed tape so she could keep hurting people even after she died. Even worse, Samara chooses her victims herself and decides who she wants to kill based on her own dark wishes. The next story also gives you the feeling that your fate might lead to a terrifying end. In Shutter Island, U.S., Marshal Teddy Daniels and his partner Chuck go to Ashcliff Hospital on Shutter Island to look into the disappearance of a patient named Rachel Solando. Teddy thinks the hospital is doing illegal experiments on the patients. He is also secretly searching for a man named Andrew Laetis, who he believes killed his wife Dolores by starting a fire in their apartment. During their investigation, many strange things happen. Teddy has disturbing flashbacks from his time as a soldier when he helped free people from concentration camps. Chuck tries to support him, but sometimes he behaves in ways that feel unusual or suspicious. The twist reveals the shocking truth. Teddy is actually Andrew Laetis. Teddy Daniels and his partner Chuck are part of a huge role-playing therapy created by the hospital. Chuck is not a real partner. He is Andrew's psychiatrist. The whole investigation was a treatment plan to help Andrew accept what really happened to his family. The movie ends with Andrew asking, which would be worse, living as a monster or dying as a good man? This suggests that he chooses to fall back into his fantasy instead of facing the unbearable guilt of his actions. In Alien, the crew of the spaceship Nostromo meets a deadly alien creature, but the company they work for already knew the danger they were going into. The crew follows what they believe is a distress signal from a strange planet. Well, they find an abandoned spaceship filled with alien eggs. When Executive Officer Kane looks too closely, a creature jumps out and attaches itself to his face, planting an embryo inside his chest. After the creature falls off, Kane seems healthy again, and the crew heads home. But during a meal, the alien embryo suddenly bursts out of Kane's chest, killing him instantly. The tiny creature escapes into the ship's vents and quickly grows into a huge, almost unstoppable monster. It begins hunting and killing the crew members one at a time. Then the twist comes. The science officer, Ash, is actually a robot, an android, secretly programmed by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. His real mission is to make sure the alien gets back to Earth so it can be used as a biological weapon. The company never cared about the crew at all. They knew about the alien species and sent the Nostromo on purpose to bring one back. In Orphan, the food is actually one of the biggest clues. Kate and John Coleman decide to adopt a girl named Esther, hoping it will help their troubled marriage. But soon after she joins the family, strange and dangerous accidents start happening. The Colemans begin to worry that something is seriously wrong with her, and they are completely right. Esther isn't just a cold-blooded killer, she's not even a child. Because of a hormone disorder, she looks like a little girl, even though she is really in her 30s. For years, she has been pretending to be a child so she can be taken in by a loving family. Looking back, the twist seems obvious. Esther always wears thick, old-fashioned dresses to hide her adult body. Her adoptive family also wonders why she spends so long getting ready every morning, not knowing she is actually putting on makeup to look younger. But the biggest clue about Esther's true age is the way she eats. To hide her adult teeth, she wears dentures that look like a child's teeth. Because of this, she has to cut all of her food into tiny pieces just to be able to eat. The movie even includes a full scene where her stepbrother mocks her for the way she chops up her food. So yes, this dangerous woman was hiding in plain sight the entire time. In Hereditary, the film begins with Annie dealing with the death of her mother, Ellen. Their relationship was unhealthy and full of tension, so Annie actually feels a bit relieved when her mother passes away. But after Annie's daughter, Charlie, is decapitated in a terrible car accident, Annie becomes convinced that her mother is somehow controlling events from beyond the grave. Soon, Annie discovers the truth. Her mother was part of a cult that worshipped the demon Paimon. Even worse, yes, it gets worse. Ellen had been planning Annie's life for years, hoping Paimon could be reborn inside one of Annie's children. Many viewers don't see this twist coming, even though the movie leaves clues everywhere. For example, Charlie cuts off a pigeon's head early in the film, which foreshadows how she later dies. Right before Charlie is decapitated, people at the party are watching a video of someone being executed by a guillotine. Looking back, it feels very obvious. There is also the twist that Annie's friend Joan is secretly a cult member too. The signs were there. She is shown buying a chalkboard that she claims belonged to her grandson, the same chalkboard she uses to talk to him during a seance. This proves she was lying the whole time, buying whatever she needed to trick Annie as part of the cult's plan. She was making up the story on the spot. Get out. The story follows Chris, a black man who is meeting the family of his white girlfriend, Rose Armitage, for the first time. Chris worries that Rose's family might be racist, but the Armitages welcome him in a way that feels friendly, but also uncomfortable. To Chris's shock, he later discovers the truth. The Armitages kidnap black people and transplant the brains of their older friends into their bodies so those people can live longer. But even though this twist is surprising, the movie hints at it many times because this is a Jordan Peele film and subtle clues are his signature style. For example, early in the movie, when a police officer asks Chris for his ID, Rose gets extremely angry, making it seem like she's defending Chris from racism. At first, we completely agree with her. But later, we realize she was actually trying to prevent any record of Chris being in the area, so there would be no evidence once her family captured him. There's another clue when Dean, Rose's father, says he likes to keep a piece of his mother in the kitchen. The camera cuts to the maid, showing that she actually has the mind of Dean's mother inside her body. Looking back, it's not subtle at all. On a second watch, these clues feel so obvious that it's hard to believe you didn't catch the twist the first time, and that's the sign of a truly great reveal. Good night, Mommy. Things begin with two twin brothers living in a quiet house far away from everyone else. Their mother has just returned home after having surgery on her face. Her entire face is wrapped in bandages, you can't see her eyes, and even her voice sounds different. She avoids touching the boys, gives strict and strange rules, and acts cold. Slowly, Elias and Lucas start to feel that something is very wrong. This woman doesn't act like their mom anymore. She doesn't sing their favorite song. She forgets small, personal things about their daily life. And whenever they ask about the past, she becomes angry and even violent. Their fear turns into deep suspicion. They begin spying on her, testing her memory, and searching for any clue they can find. The more they look, the more they convince themselves that the woman living with them is definitely not their real mother. So, the twins decide to take extreme action. They tie the woman to the bed and question her, hoping to force the truth out of her. They want answers. They want proof. What follows is a terrifying scene where innocent children start acting in cruel and dangerous ways, and things begin to spiral out of control. Then the film reveals a heartbreaking twist. The woman was never an imposter. She really was their mother the whole time. The reason she acted different had nothing to do with evil intentions. It was because she was grieving. One of her sons had died in a tragic accident. Lucas, the twin we see throughout the entire movie, is actually dead. He only exists in Elias's mind, created by trauma and loneliness, so Elias doesn't have to face the truth. In the end, the mother dies because Elias believes she is a stranger pretending to be his mom. He escapes the burning house and walks into the woods where he finds his mother again. To him, everything makes sense. He thinks he did the right thing. But just like Lucas, the mother Elias sees now isn't real. The visit. Everything begins with what seems like a harmless trip. Two siblings, 15-year-old Becca, who loves making documentaries, and 13-year-old Tyler, who wants to be a rapper, take a train to rural Pennsylvania to spend a week with their grandparents, whom they've never met. Their mother, Loretta, hopes this visit will finally bring the family back together after 15 years of not speaking because of an old fight. But from the very first night in the isolated farmhouse, something feels terribly wrong. During the day, the grandparents seem perfect, kind, caring, fun, and always busy cooking or playing with the kids. But once the sun goes down, their behavior changes in frightening ways. Grandma Doris roams the house at night without clothes, laughing to herself, scratching the walls like an animal, and even vomiting. Grandpa John has sudden bursts of anger and acts nervous, like he's hiding something dangerous in the basement. Becca tries to explain the strange behavior by blaming old age or dementia, but Tyler feels deep down that something much darker is happening. As the week goes on, the house starts to feel like a mental hospital. Dinner becomes tense, the basement stays locked at all times, and the grandparents get angry whenever the kids ask questions about their past or about their mother. Everything changes during a video call with their mom. Becca says, "Mom, they've been acting so strange. We've been filming them." Their mother's face drops. "Becca, those are not your grandparents." She calls the police immediately, but the kids must survive on their own until help arrives. Terrified, Becca finally decides to open the locked basement door. Inside the cold, dark room, she finds the rotting bodies of their real grandparents. The truth is horrifying. The people in the house are not Doris and John Jameson at all. They are Claire and Frederick, two dangerous psychiatric patients who escaped from a nearby mental institution. They murdered the real grandparents, took their place, and pretended to have a family so they could live out a twisted fantasy. But the kids discover the truth too late. The imposters realize they've been exposed and fully snap, attacking the children to silence them forever. The house becomes a violent fight for survival. Tyler uses his strength to overpower Frederick, while Becca smashes a mirror to defend herself against Claire. Finally, the police burst in, arrest the imposters, and save the children. The twist in the visit is simple but deeply emotional. When the kids return home, shaken and traumatized, their mother explains the painful truth. 15 years earlier, her parents kicked her out for dating someone they didn't approve of. She never made peace with them, and she never sent pictures of her children afterward. That's why the imposters fooled everyone so easily. No one knew what the real grandparents looked like.